Vamos por tópicos.
Tá lá aí.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in name of the Spiritist Federation. My name is Stevan Bertozzo, and I am one of the coordinators of the Spiritist Federation, along with Wanderley. And this is an initiative of the International Spiritist Council in celebration of the 160 years of this Medium's book. The Medium's book was published in 15th of January, 1861. And during this year, all the countries, members of the International Spiritist Council, are given some insights about the chapters of the Medium's book. It's impossible to go deep in the lessons, comment each sentence, each question, its details, because it's a course for more than 1 year. And we are just here giving some highlights, some topics which will call your attention in order to read the book. The main goal is to give you the opportunity to read the book and comment with us. Okay, so Wanderley, my friend, good night.
Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Wanderley, a little bit louder. You're very far away, my friend.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear better?
Mm.
No? Oh, God. How about this?
No, it's okay. Let's skip this. So, to our Spiritist Federation part is talk about chapter 19 and chapter 20 of the Medium's book. In my opinion, these are a very important topic in the entire book, because we were going to discuss the role of the mediums in communication, okay, and the moral of the mediums, the quality of the moral of the mediums. In order to start, I just call by topics as we have here in the Medium's book, and we will just discuss here a little bit what each topic mean. And again, we strongly invite you to read each chapter, because this will give you a lot of information. And I hope today we can reach that goal. So, the first topic, we have the following topics in chapter 19: the influence of the medium's spirit, the theory of inert mediums, the aptitude of certain mediums for things they do not know, languages, music, drawing, etc., and a spirit's dissertation on the role of mediums. Okay, in the chapter 20, we will talk about, let me get here, the medium's moral influence. So it's various questions. Kardec kind of follow the same patterns he did in the Spirit's book in order to ask questions, and especially here, the Spirit called Erastus, he answered those questions brilliantly. It's a chapter you need to read every time because tell us how a spiritist person should not should behave, but should mirror your pathway to progress. Okay, so in order to start, let's discuss here a little bit about uh, the influence of the medium's spirit. And the main topic here is if a spirit of the medium can give a message. So most of the times I am the medium, I am giving, but my spirit can give the message. And the Spirit says, Kardec, yes, is that possible? Like the same thing when you invoke a spirit which the person is incarnated. Just to make aware of one, because at the time of Kardec, he used to invoke a lot of spirits who are in the spiritual world, and spirits who are incarnated. For many times, especially when you read the Spiritist magazine, you will see, oh, let's invoke the spirit of Mr. or Mrs. X. They are traveling there, or they are in that country. Let's call them, let's see what's going on, and they could do it. So it's that possible. Nowadays, we don't see too much of these types of invocation, even though it still exist, but we don't see it frequently, And Wanderley, do you have anything to add?
Let me see. How is my sound first?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, something that you have to add here, like once we start in the chapter 19, the role Kardec tries to really emphasize the influence of the medium through in the spirit. And sometimes we think this influence or this process is something quite magical. But here in this chapter 19, Kardec go through, to several processes that in between the connection of the medium and the spirit. And sometimes we think, let's say it's a spirit, so necessarily this spirit must be someone quite clever. And the Spirit says to Kardec, not exactly, because it's not because it's a spirit that it's a spirit who knows quite a lot, who is an evolved spirit. And sometimes the mediums, they get confused with that, because they think, oh, it's a spirit, so must be someone quite from a high elevated place. And the Kardec says to us, be careful, because how are you going to identify if the spirit is a good or elevated spirit or not? Throughout the communication, try to understand his words, try to understand the way that he expressed himself, the way that he expressed his ideas. So then Kardec says we must to really be aware in the communication. Once the communication is done, could be automatic writing, could be a vocally communication. We have to analyze what the spirit said and how the spirit said, to see if the spirit is a good, elevated spirit or not, because it could be a spirit like us. And this part is a really strong point, which I believe we have to say from this part here on the chapter 19. But we have any more topics? Would you like to add anything else, Stevan?
No, I said I would say you said a very important thing, because most of us, we say, oh, a spirit gave a message. It's not because a spirit gave a message that's nobody can contest, nobody can go against the arguments. We needed to make sure this message contains very good topics who will help us not cause problems among the incarnated ones. And let's say, like, one of the answers from the spirits here is not all communications comes from a being from a high order or more evolved than the medium. So the spirits are here, and if the medium is in synchrony, it is tuned with the spirits. They find something. They will give the message, and they will do it. Okay, and the influence of the medium, it's higher than we think, because then I need to open a parenthesis here and say the law of the physics law, in which we say two bodies cannot occupy the same space. It's valid in the spiritual world as well. When we have a spirit communicator, it's not because the spirit is inside of the medium. No, he transmits through thoughts what he wants to say and connect with the medium. The medium receive that message, and sometimes the medium can say the message without any interference. Sometimes they will say the message as they understood, like they capture the message, and then they will write or they will say the message as per they understood. So we have those, mainly these two types of message. That's why we need, every time when we receive a message, we need to check. We need to put this in a kind of doubt about it. Say, okay, let me say, oh, it's not because a spirit called, for example, André Luiz is very famous among us spiritists here. Oh, André Luiz gave a message. Wait, is this according to the verbiage André Luiz used to say? This is the approach André Luiz used to do. This is an enlightening message. So we need to go through this. And then I don't want to go through the second chapter. Most of the mediums get angry when you say, no, this is not André Luiz, this is something. But we will not go to this now. The thing, let's skip to the motto.
Let's skip the flow,
the motto
here,
part.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what more here?
You said something quite nice, because we have to understand that when a communication comes, it's not like I'm the spirit here in the spiritual world, I'm going to get any medium. As Stevan said, the connection really the spirit must have a good connection with that medium, because otherwise the spirit, he won't go through that medium if he doesn't find any affinity with that medium. And that affinity could be, most of the time, is through thought. So the spirit has a similar mentality to the medium. Or maybe in some cases, like Chico Xavier, we could have a connection because of previous lives. So most of the time, if this affinity does not work, maybe a message can be passed, but it won't be a fluid message. It would be a more message like just expressing small ideas, but not something deep. Why? Because there is no connection between the medium and the spirit.
Yeah, we will have a more noise in the message than the real word.
That's it. Yeah, we're not gonna have like a proper fluid thing, you know.
Yeah, we can say, we can give here two examples. Before André Luiz starts to dictate the André Luiz series of books to Chico Xavier, he was with Chico Xavier for many years trying to tune themselves. Joana de Angelis, the mentor of Divaldo Franco, she trained him, I think, for more than 1 year or something, messages. And when Divaldo Franco was ready, she said to him, "You know that messages you psychograph along this year?" "Yes, I know. I am preparing. Are you published?" "No." Threw them away. She said to him to put them away, to tear everything and put it away, because they were training, they were practicing this tune in order to allow the medium reflect the true message from the spirit. In the communication world is like try to reduce the level of noise in the message. Okay? And I think this passage is very good to say, like, there's also the spirit said to Kardec, you should realize that among the spirits you evoke there are those who are still incarnated on the earth. In these instances, they speak with you as spirits and not as human beings. Yep. So that's I like this question here, by the way. And
yeah, this case, Steven, happens a lot. For example, once we are sleeping, because once we are sleeping, our spirit goes away, even if it's still connected. What should I do? I'm gonna go to where I have affinities. So the spirit gonna go somewhere. Let's say my Steven, my spirit can go to Dundalk, for example, to try to talk to Steven, where Steven lives. So whatever the spirit has affinity, the spirit will go. So in this case, I can give a communication in Steven's dreams, for example. And then Steven will think, oh, I had a dream with Wanderley, but in fact, it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was my spirit, even if I'm incarnated, going to Steven in the evening while I'm sleeping, trying to send a message to him. And that happens a lot in the somnambulic states also. So Kardec explains to us that we can send messages to other spirits, incarnate and discarnated, because also once we sleep, we can go to the spiritual world and try to connect with the spirits of the dead ones, the spirits who are in the spiritual world. So this communication, all the time it happens. For some, it's like just a dream. For some, something a bit more conscious. So everything happens here in the thought. The thought is the main tool which the spirits they have in order to connect to each other, and the affinity will be the main connector between them.
Yeah, great. Shall we go to the theory of inert mediums, Wanderley? I think we gave a kind of good introduction about the first topic. We can go to the theory of inert mediums. And here is quite interesting because everybody knows when Kardec was, when he began this journey, he was invited to go to the turning tables phenomena. And this is well known among the spiritists and sometimes non-spiritists, in which the tables was answer the questions, sometimes we can see baskets writing messages, and they are saying, and Kardec saw it, and he said, well, I saw the table was answer, not word, but giving notes, and the basket was spinning and writing the message. Kardec says, okay, I saw the phenomena. I saw that is not a trick thing, that is not a magic, that is nobody influencing this, but behind these taps on the table, this writing through the baskets, there is someone intelligent there. That's the first thing he said. I said, okay, I recognize I see it. I look it for anyone who's trying to make a trick here. There is no trick. I'm 100% sure, but I do not believe that a basket has own will to write a message. Someone with intelligence must be behind it. And then he started doing his studies. So it's good to say that without that is on the item 12. The Spiritists explain the theory of inert mediums, which presumes that there is true mediumship in inert objects. For example, in the basket or cardboard box that serves as instrument is not true. If the spirit were to transmit intelligence to the box and give it life, the box would be able to write by itself without the medium support. Okay? Anything to say, Wanderley?
No, it's just because, like Kardec, he understood this, that it's not because something which has no life is doing some movements, that's what is the theory of inert mediums, that something has life, has intelligence. The intelligence comes from the spirit through vital fluid. So if there is a table moving, that table must need the existence of a medium, of physical effects, giving vital fluids in order to that table to move. And Kardec understood that. So that's why he says the theory of inert mediums is not true. Because it's not because a stick is shaking that the stick is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Even there is nothing touching that stick, there must have a thought, an intelligence, making that stick to move. But that movement needs the vital fluid. Otherwise, there will be no connection. And Kardec explains that. Also, the spirits explain to Kardec that, the necessity of it.
Again, I like to give examples, guys, and you better use to me. Like I assume you have watched that movie Ghost. Wanderley, I know you were very young. Probably you were playing with cars, but I went to the movie, to the cinema, the theater, and I saw it quite a couple of times or more. But there is a moment in which there is a guy who he presumably he committed suicide, and he was against to do it, and didn't commit suicide. But he taught the main character of the movie how, for example, to move. Sorry?
The handsome one, Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, yeah, remember, I forgot his name. But he was teaching Patrick Swayze how to move a solder lead. It was laid out in the floor, and with their inner will, with their inner connection. I remember one phrase when he said, "You and the can must be like one." And with this will, he was able to kick the can or move the lead. So for those who are incarnated, they will just see the can moving or the lead moving. But an intelligent being was behind it. I know it's a silly example, but this is how we can see how it works, how it can affect us. And this is around us every time, more than we think. Okay? I think this makes a good connection
With the next slide.
With the next topic, which is the aptitude of certain mediums for things they do not know, like language, music, drawing. And I would like to start this by, I don't remember which spiritist not show, event we had in Paris. And Divaldo was at that meeting. And certain time in the Spiritist Congress, I don't know what's the number of the Spiritist Congress, but the latest one we had in France. And Divaldo Franco, he was a certain point of the event. He was sitting on the table and he was writing. And he psychographed a message. And our beloved friend Roger, he already is in the spiritual world. He was the master of this event, and he got the message. And it was a message from Leon Denis. And Divaldo wrote the message in French, and he wrote from not right to left, from left to right. So in order to read the message, you must use a mirror. Otherwise, you cannot read the message. And he wrote in French. And the message was signed by the spirit Leon Denis. So this is not an ability of Divaldo. He's a Brazilian. He didn't speak at the time the French or something like this, So, and perhaps you are saying to me, oh, but this must be stored in his perispirit because he may had a previous life as a French person. And my answer to you, yes, it should be, but it's not all the times. The spirits here in this sub-item of the chapter 19, they say sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Okay, Wanderley, I can see in your eyes you want to say
correct.
something.
But in this case of Divaldo, we have to be careful because the first part of what you said is more correct. Because for a medium to be able to give a complex message, which would be from Leon Denis, that medium must have the French language inside of his hard drive. I wouldn't say yes or no, but for sure. Because if it's a complex message, if it's just a word, then what you said is correct. But we have to understand like this. That's why the medium will go through certain mediums, as we said before. Why am I going to go to Stevan to write in Greek if I know when I look at his spirit that Stevan never lived in Greece? How can I tell Stevan to write a message, a poem, a difficult message about law in Greek? Stevan has no ability for it. Can the spirits make Stevan do it? Yes, they can, but it's going to be a lot of work. The high evolved spirits, they're busy. They don't want to go for Stevan because Stevan doesn't know Greek. What they're going to be doing? I'm going to go somewhere else. They're going to be there with their radar, we can put in this way. Once they find another spirit, let's say they find Samantha. Oh, Samantha, she used to live in Greece a few reincarnations ago. So I'm going to go to Samantha. Why? Because in her hard drive, in her perispirit, the Greek language is there. So it's going to be a more fluid message. What Steven's trying to say about language fits correctly, but only for certain words, for few words. For art and for painting, as Steven was saying, in some case we have this in the, how you call the guys from Gasparetto? We are not here to say we like them or not. They used to paint, and they say that used to be.
Yeah, we have many ones. Like we have
Yeah.
Florencio Anton, we have this guy
Yeah,
Gasparetti, we
many
have
of these.
many mediums who paint. But again, they train it a lot. You know.
No, they train, but the thing is about art, for example, there is no language the spirit can have, but always if the spirit's gonna be sending even a drawing or anything like this, we have to bear in mind that for the spirit it's much easier to go to a proper medium who knows how to paint, for example, who knows mathematics, who knows about I don't know, physics or things like this. The message can be shared with this with the medium, but if the medium doesn't have that faculty, it's going to be much harder. It's not going to be easy. It's not like magic.
Yeah. Well, also we have a perfect example in Brazil, the medium Chico Xavier. He wrote a lot of books, even messages in English in other languages. He wrote, and he barely speak Portuguese. Very humble family, but he could give. And in the sub-item 18, Kardec asked to the spirits, could a person who does not even know how to write to do so as a medium? And the answer was yes. But you must understand that there is a great mechanical difficulty to overcome because the hand is not used to the movements required to form letters. The same applies to painting mediums who do not know how to draw. It's not impossible, like me. If a spirit now asks me to draw a house, I'm in trouble. They will start to laugh because for sure it's not gonna be the house they want to give as a message, but it is not impossible. It requires more effort from the spiritual side in order to allow someone who are receiving this, who do not have this gift of drawing, gift of arts, to do it. And also, it's important to say, ask, and the following question 19, Kardec asked, could a medium of very low intelligence transmit communications of an elevated order? Yes, for the same reason that a medium can write in unknown language. Mediumship per se does not depend on intelligence or moral qualities. This is important, my friends. I would say again, mediumship per se does not depend on intelligence and moral qualities. In the same absence of a better instrument, a spirit can use whatever one is at hand. In other words, like Wanderley said, they try to find in that public, let's say, who is more able to transmit the message they want. But if they do not find, then you make someone do it. It's going to be harder for them, like we read in the previous question, but they will give the message. Okay? Let me see here. I like this. This is a comment Kardec put it here. It is in the Spiritist magazine in July 1860. The name of the article is Psychonominy. And Kardec says, this is a fact born out by experience. Many times we have evoked the spirits of living mentally impaired individuals who provided the patent proof of their identity and answered us in a very sane and even superior manner. Their impaired state is a punishment for the spirit who suffers because of the constraints under which it finds itself. Mentally impaired mediums can thus sometimes offer a spirit who wants to manifest greater resources than one might think. So sometimes a spirit, let's say, like a mentor or someone who will write a book, a novel, they are with this medium preparing them. Sometimes they prepare to make someone ready to receive that message, then to get someone who are already able to do this, but they can prepare someone to do it.
Steven, once you talk about preparing, we have the example of Emmanuel, for example. We know
Good
that
one.
Emmanuel had several incarnations, all of them related to religion and power. But once he came to Brazil for the first time as Manuel da Nóbrega, one of the how you call them, the Christians, the group,
Jesuitas?
Jesuita, yeah, the Jesuits. Once they came, Emmanuel came there and he was there with the Indians. He was known in São Paulo. One incarnation that most of the people, they don't talk about Emmanuel, is the last reincarnation that he had, which wasn't Manuel da Nóbrega. Manuel da Nóbrega was before his last. His last reincarnation, he was born, I think, in Maranhão. He was a priest. And that incarnation, he was writing, he was studying a lot of Portuguese. And that reincarnation had no any type of fame at all. Emmanuel was an unknown priest, and a lot of reincarnations was a quite famous person. But in that one, Chico says to us that that reincarnation was really important to Emmanuel because it was preparing Emmanuel with the language of Portuguese. He was kind of learning a lot in the obscurity with no fame at all, in order to be able to transmit the books in Portuguese through Chico Xavier. So what we are trying to say here is like this. Once we have these important works from the spiritual world, there is a huge preparation before. It's not like this, oh, let's do a message. Yes, it can be done, yes, but that's not the rule. That's 1% of the most of the important messages. We are not talking about messages in the medium sessions of disobsession, for example. Once we are talking about with suffering spirits, we are talking about messages, as Steven said, from mentors, important messages to the Spiritist movement, for example. In this case, there is a huge preparation, and Emmanuel is one of these cases.
Great. And also this reminded me to say on item, sub-item 23, Kardec asked to the spirits, why do individuals who are gifted with a great talent in the one existence not possess it in the next one? And the spirits answered, that is not always the case, for often such individuals perfect in one existence what they had begun in the previous one. Nonetheless, it could be that a superior faculty lies dormant for a certain amount of time in order to facilitate the development of another. Yeah. It will be a latent seed that will later germinate again, but there will always be some visible signs of it, or at least a vague intuition. Yeah. So, this reminds us that the lesson we learned, the virtue we acquired, we will never, ever lose it. This can be dormant for a certain time in order to allow we exercise other virtues. But if during this time we need to get some insight, some influences of the ones we learned, we will have it. So this is very important because once we learn something, we will never forget it. No, it's not because you are
Sorry. No, just for those who wants to go through the chapter 19, there is a beautiful message which is from Erastus and Timothy, who, for those who doesn't know, they are the disciples of Paul. They are those Erastus and Timothy of the Bible. They explain quite a lot in one dissertation about mediumship, and in the end of chapter 19, about the role of the mediums. So it's a really nice message that if anyone wants to read, I really recommend. It's a nice piece of work.
Yeah. I would say we should comment something about this dissertation here. It's wonderful. It is a masterpiece. And I emphasize here the last paragraph, like a summary of the dissertation. And they say here, as we have already stated, spirits do not need to clothe their thoughts in words. They perceive and transmit them naturally amongst themselves. Incarnate beings, on the contrary, can only communicate through thought translated into words. While letters, words, nouns, verbs, and sentences are required for your perception, even mentally, no visible or tangible form is required for us.
That's it. Only the thoughts.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful because most of the spirits communicate by thoughts. They don't need like I know it's if we have here a message being psychographed, we think the spirit are saying the message to the medium here it is. No, this is transmitted by thoughts. So is more powerful. Yeah, well, it's like that's why when we think in someone, when we start to, oh, I want to see this or that person, you start to think this is commonly if this person it's already in the spirit world and they do have the authorization. Sometimes they just in seconds they are with us, you know. Or if they don't have authorization, if you do a prayer, your thoughts will reach that person whatever they are. We have many examples in many books saying those spirits who are suffering, probably in the lower zones, in the suicide valley, and in other place, they many times they say that the prayers reach them, and for seconds, that prayers, it was a kind of relief for them in that suffering moment. So that's why we say, do not stop praying for your beloved ones. It's not because they are not here. You cannot say, everybody deserves a prayer. Everybody deserves being remembered. You know? Another example, me and my examples. One of the stories, Divaldo used to, one day he was at the train, and he not the train, he was reading a newspaper, and he said that a man was killed himself. He jumped in front of a train. And that message touched Divaldo. And he starts to pray to that man. He doesn't know the name of that man because it was not written in the newspaper. And he called the man who jumped in front of the train. So many times during the day, he used to dedicate like 1-2 minutes praying for that person. For many time, I don't know if many years or quite a while, but for not a short period, he did this. Someday, a spirit he felt the presence of a spirit, and he said, "Hey, good afternoon, my friend. How are you?" And he said, "Oh, I just came here to say thank you." And Divaldo surprised, "Oh, thank you for what?" "Thank you because you helped me, you gave me hope." And do I know you? I don't know who you are. And the spirit said to him, I am the man who jumped in front of the train. And I was feeling for many, many years the train cutting my arms, cutting my body. And for seconds, I have some reliefs. And the spirits who came to rescue me taught me that moments and I have a relief is it happened because you were praying for me. So I came here to thank you for your prayers. So, guys, the message will be delivered without efforts, or with efforts, the message will be delivered. Okay. Let me say here, Wanderley, I think we can jump to the chapter 20
Yeah.
and talk more about. We do have here 14 minutes. Let's see what we can say about the medium's moral influence. This is on chapter 20. And again, Kardec asked many, many important questions. And the first question is the key question for everyone, which Kardec asked: does the development of mediumship have any relation to medium's moral development? This gives us a seminar. Just with this question, give us a seminar, because I'm sure some people will say yes, of course, and others say no, and the spirits were very straightforward here. They said no. The faculty per se is organic and therefore independent of morality. However, the same does not apply concerning its use, which can be good or bad according to medium's character. So mediumship, it is an organic faculty. This can be with the rich, with the poor, with the bad, with the good, with the ignorant, with the idiot, like Kardec used the words here, idiot, with the very smart person. Mediumship is an organic faculty. They will receive the message, but it is the medium's character, what he gonna do with that message.
Steven, this question it's very important because a lot of people who doesn't know about mediumship, once they go the first time to the spirit center, could be a spirit center related to the Kardec's work, or could be a Umbanda, or could be any other place where they exercise more faculty. And what does the person who doesn't know about mediumship thinks? Oh, that medium, he's always receiving a spirit, as they say. He's always receiving a spirit. That spirit, that medium, he must be a really evolved person. He must be a good medium because he gets messages from everywhere all the time. And as he says here, no, that medium, because the faculty is organic, maybe he has a strong faculty, but it's not because he's always getting medium messages from the spiritual world that he's exactly a good medium, because maybe he's only connected with lower spirits or to suffering spirits.
Yeah.
That's why people who don't understand mediumship, they get in this trap. So Kardec explains to us this: less is more in this case. It's much better to get a medium who in a mediumship meeting maybe give 1 or 2 messages rather than 10 messages from suffering spirits, Of course, each one has their important place in a mediumship meeting, but sometimes that medium who gets only one message is going to be the wrong one because his moral is more elevated. So in this case, he's connected with higher evolved spirits who is going to be getting the good message for the group. That's why this question can be quite tricky if you don't study mediumship.
Yes, yes. You perfect. You nailed that, because we always say, "Oh, that person receives message from Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. This
Or they
receives
think.
message from Joana de Angelis." And you say, "Oh, he should be a very evolved person." Maybe. The answer is always maybe. you know. Again, remember when they said the spirits are looking for, they are always looking for someone who is more in tune with them in order to give a message. If they do not find and they need to give the message, they will give it to whatever one. They will say, "Oh, you," and they will give the message. Okay? So, again, it's not the moral development who defines if he receives a message from higher spirit or lower spirit. Okay? So,
No, Steve, I think you meant is the moral
what
development
I
of the
said?
medium. You said it's not.
Oh,
No, the
no, it's the
moral,
moral. Yeah.
more high evolved the person morally, more than likely is gonna get messages from high evolved spirits.
Yeah, exactly. And the second question is even more interesting when he asked it. It has always been said that mediumship is a gift from God, a grace, a divine favor. Then, why isn't it a privilege of moral individuals only? And why are there unworthy persons who are endowed with it to the highest degree, but who use it badly? Again, the mediumship is an organic faculty. They give the message. What you're gonna do what you're gonna do with the message, it's your responsibility, not the spirit's responsibility. It's how you're gonna use it, how you're gonna promote it. If you are kind of a medium who, for some reason, you receive a message saying, "Oh, signed by Chico Xavier," and this kind of touches your ego, your pride, and when someone says to you, "Oh, Stevan, I think that message is not the message given by Chico. There is some nuances here in the message who does not feel the characteristics of Chico, and I'm feeling hurt by that." It's my problem. So it's up to me, the medium who receives that, how they gonna feel about it. And the Spirit's answer to Kardec: all our faculties are favors for which we should thank God, for there are some persons who do not possess them. You could just as well ask why God has given good eyesight to criminals, dexterity to thieves, or eloquence to those who only use it for evil. So, in other words, what they're saying here is, my friends, it's your responsibility. How are you going to use this gift I gave to you? It's up to you. It's kind of the parable of talents. One received 1, 2, 3 talents. what you're gonna do with the talents is up to you. And the only thing I will say to you is, at the end, who's gonna be in front of the master to say what you did with your talents? Yourself. You cannot say, "Oh, Wanderley said to me to hide this. Oh, Wanderley said to me to sell everything." Say, "Hey, I gave to you, not Wanderley. Why you follow what he said instead of following your ideas, your thoughts, your let's say feelings,
Steven, from the example that you gave, we have a very good example of a famous medium, which I'm not going to be saying his name, who have been accused of abusing women. He's not a spiritist medium, but doesn't matter if he wasn't or not. Everyone who knew him said that his faculties were amazing. He was a kind of a medium who would get in touch with so many spirits and giving recipes to people to get better. A lot of people, they really say that that medium really make them well. But what we have here in question 3 and question 4, we're going to see in question 4 is this. Once you have that faculty quite strong, because you are using, as Steven said, you are using that in a bad way, or you are using to take advantage to people, like in his case, for example. Again, we are not here judging anyone. What happens? Do you lose your faculty? No. Your faculty, because as he said in the beginning, it's something organic. So you're going to have your faculty still. What's going to be the problem? Good spirits, they're going to leave you, because the faculty is organic. It's like speaking or hearing or moving my hands. Other spirits, they're going to get their space of the good spirits, which going to be the lower spirits. And that spirits, they're going to start to influence that medium to do things to harm the others. That's what we saw with that medium. Once he started doing what he did, other mediums, they came. His ego was really high. He thought he was really powerful, and he could do anything. Then we see the results in the media. But he still is a medium, an amazing medium, because again, we're going to be repeating, it's something organic mediumship. It's not related with moral. His moral, we are not here to discuss, but we see by the facts what he did. But again, he's still going to be a medium for a long, long time. And of course, I think André Luis says to us that in some cases, yes, the mediumship can be stopped. But in these cases, most of these cases, they are not with these very formidable mediums like this one. It's mediums who have some kind of faculty, but in his case, he had many faculties. So it's a sad thing, but it happens.
Yeah. Let me see here. That there is a message here. This is on sub-item 4 of the chapter 20. Says, there are no mediums who misuse their ability out of ambition or self-interest, or who disgrace it with some essential defect, such as selfishness, pride, and frivolousness, who do not time and again receive warnings from spirit. Most of the time, unfortunately, they do not apply such warnings to themselves. So, in other words, it's saying here, even those those mediums who are misusing the faculty, they do receive warnings. It's not because, oh, whatever, don't do it. No, they receive warnings, but it's up to them to listen these warnings or not. Again, one of the rules we need to remember is the higher spirits never ever will interfere in our free will. They always respect our free will, even though This causes problems to us, but they cannot interfere in our decisions. They cannot interfere in our choices. Let's see what more. Let me check the time. Oh, it's almost 1 hour. Oh, it's already 1 hour. Good. Oh, good. This is a comment from Kardec here. I like this comment here. Don't think that mediumship is given only to correct one or two individuals. Rather, the objective is greater. It is meant for all humankind. As individuals, mediums are very unimportant instruments. Thus, when we provide instructions of general interest, we utilize mediums who offer us the required abilities. But you can be very sure that the time will come when good mediums will be quite common and good spirits will no longer have to use faulty instruments. So we will learn. Our aim is reach perfection. We will reach them. If you want, if you don't want, you will get there, my friend. My friends, we will get there. If I'm not saying you will reach the perfection now, but we are walking towards it. And we reach this. Let me say, and Wanderley, I think because of the time, okay, on item 8, what you said, it's good to emphasize the example you gave, Wanderley. Item 8, imperfect mediums can sometimes obtain good communications since if they have a good faculty, good spirits can use them in the absence of better ones in special circumstances. They do so only temporarily, however, because when they find others who would serve them better, they prefer them. Yeah. So let's use a well-known phrase here is the bell rings from the spiritual world to us, not the other way around. When they need to give a message, they will give.
Yeah.
They will give. And in order to finish here, I like to go to the dissertation, a spirit's dissertation concerning moral influence, which is a wonderful message from the Spiritus Erastus.
He was the disciple of Paul also.
Yes. Yeah, Wanderley knows that better, but let me find, let me find what's there. I wrote here.
Steven, you see what he says here? We may affirm as a general rule that similar spirits attract each other and that groups of highly evolved spirits readily communicate to bad conductors when they have good mediumstic apparatus at their disposal. In other words, good mediums, as you just said here before in the message in the dissertation.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, I can see. Sorry, guys, Steven just got an invader there.
Yeah, some spirits noise.
There's a spirit.
Some incarnated ones. Yeah, voice here.
Yeah, you see the spirit behind. Yeah, Steven has 2 little daughters there, 2 wonderful ones. Sometimes they come in the room and they make a bit of noise.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Okay. Let's go again to the last paragraph of that dissertation. Spiritism has already spread extensively among humankind, and has already sufficiently moralized the sincere followers of its doctrine, so that the spirits no longer feel obliged to utilize bad instruments or imperfect mediums. Now, if mediums, whoever they may be, become the object of suspicion due to their conduct, their habits, their pride, or their lack of love and charity, reject their communications. That is a serpent hidden in the grass. Thus is my conclusion concerning the moral influence of the mediums. So, in other words, it's better deny one truth than accept 10 wrong messages, 10 wrong informations. So, the main rule here, my friends, is let's investigate, let's check, let's remember the universal law which Kardec used to write the Spirit's book, the Gospel according to Spiritism. In the introduction of the Gospel according to Spiritism, there is a brilliant explanation from Kardec that he can split the teaches the Jesus lessons in 5 points, and he took the moral, because the moral nobody can say no, it's wrong or right. Moral is moral. So I not just strongly invite you to read Medium's book, but read the Spirit's book, read the Gospel according to Spiritism, and also Heaven and Hell and Genesis. So it's full of wonderful messages, wonderful insights to awake ourselves. Again, and we are not here, the Spiritism are not here to tell you need to change your religion, you need to change your faith. No, that's not the message. The message here is to make you become a better person. If you're Catholic, to become a better Catholic. If you're a Protestant, to be a better Protestant. If you're a Spiritist, a better Spiritist. That's the true message here. And with this, unless Wanderley, you have any final words, I want to say thank you for the International Spiritist Council for giving to Ireland this opportunity to talk very briefly about this wonderful book, the Medium's book. There are more things we could say here, guys, but it's a short time, and we need at least 4 or 5 more lives in order to go through these 2 important chapters. Okay, in name of the Irish Spiritist Federation, Wanderley, I want to say thank you, and may God bless you all, and you have a nice evening, a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.